damn good day, welcome back to the channel, and we will be looking to break down Pep Guardiola's 3-2-4-1 formation in the game FC24. So, before I get into it even further, would you please do me the biggest honor, the biggest favor, like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. As well as, if you haven't seen it, I've gone ahead and recreated Pep Guardiola's 4-2-3-1 formation that he does look to try and implement in games every now and then, or more times than not. But we will be discussing his other formation, the 3-2-4-1. So, we'll start off with Haaland up front. We've got Kovacic and De Bruyne just in behind. We've got the likes of Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish on either flank. Rodri and Stones deeper in the midfield. Then we've got Akanji Diaz, if it allows me to get there, Akanji Diaz and Ake in the defense. And between the sticks, as always, it's Edison. In the subs area, we've got Alvarez, Foden, Doku, Nunez, Ortega, Walker, and Vardiel. And then in the reserves, we've got Phillips, Gomez, Rico Lewis, Oscar Bob, and then a few other players I don't care to mention. So for this formation going forward, I haven't really done too much. I've gone with the 3-4-2-1, but what I have done is I've just dropped down those centre forwards just ever so slightly, making them central attacking midfielders, and then I've made the wingers just a bit wider, making sure that they held the touchline a bit more going forward. So it's one goalkeeper, 3 centre backs, 2 DMs, 2 central attacking midfielders, 2 wingers, and then 1 striker. So for the tactics going forward, the tactical vision, I couldn't really decide what to try and choose that best suits what Man City do with this formation going forward. So I've just gone with a set of custom tactics, if you don't mind. But basically, the defense style is press after loss of possession. We do know that with this team going forward, it's a very, very aggressive team that they look to try and win the ball back as quick as possible. You can go with constant pressure if you would like, but it does drain the stamina of these players very, very quickly. So press after loss of possession does look to do a good enough job for the game FC24. As for the team width, it is a very naturally widespread team. You want to try and bring those wingers in a bit more, have them tracking back ever so slightly, making sure that they are picking up the runners every now and then, and you just want to try and make it's very hard for the opposition to try and play through, which is why we've gone with the 20 width. As for the depth, though, a very, very high line. You do have a lot of protection of your back line at times with the likes of Stones and Rodri just in front of them, and they are also fairly quick. I know Diaz is not the fastest of players, but Akanji's very, very quick with his recovery pace, as well as the likes of Nathan Ake. As for the build-up play and the offensive side of things, as well as the chance creation, one is set to possession and the other one is set to slow build-up. You want to try and look after the ball as much as possible, work your way, make sure you are creating good quality chances going forward for the likes of Erling Haaland or potentially an Alvarez if he is on the field. You want to just try and create the best possible opportunities for your attackers. As for the width, it is set to 80. Like I said, it's a nice widespread team. You want to try and work the ball out to either Grealish or Bernardo Silva or whoever's on your flank. You want to try and get the ball to them as quick as possible and have them work their way from the wider areas inside, having the ball ping around the midfield, opening up a lot of space for that midfield at times, as well as generating space up front between the lines for the likes of Erling Haaland. As for the players in the box, it is set to 8. You want to try and get Haaland in that attacking area, but with other players in and around him, the likes of Kovacic, you want him making those late runs into the box, almost replicating what Ilkay Gundogan did last season, essentially, making those late runs into the attacking third, as well as you want to try and get your wingers in and around that area as well. As for corners and free kicks, as always, it is 6-4. So we'll start off with the instructions, and starting off with the goalkeeper. Edison said to come across as fairly decent with doing so, but more importantly, with such a high line, with this system, you need all 11 players to be ball-playing players. And to be honest, Edison, one of the best in the world at doing so, having the ability to claim the ball outside the box, circulate back into play, have the ball pinged into him at times, alleviating stress and pressure, trying to play make from the back. He has all these great qualities, and I think, having him on a super keeper is not a bad option. But moving on into our defense, we've got Diaz and Akanji. Diaz sets their base set of instructions, whereas the likes of Ake, he is set to join the attack and step up. You want him to be a bit more aggressive. You want him to step up and step into the midfield in certain moments, progress the ball high up the field, potentially get it to Grealish, carry it a bit more down the left-hand flank. Moving on into our midfielder, we've got Rodri and Stones, both DMs in this situation, but we'll start with Rodri. He is the chief creator at the back, the quarterback in certain moments, collecting the ball off of the back line and progressing it forward. But he's set to cut passing and stay back while attacking. Normal interceptions are set to go. You don't want to have him running around chasing the ball or more or less stepping off a bit more and trying to give the opponent some space, so that's why I've gone with the normal set of interceptions for him. And then be the deep line playmaker and cover the centre. You want him just manning that central area, protecting the back 3 more times and not potentially maybe even slotting in certain moments if Ake has stepped out. So yes, you want him to try and fill that void. and of course be the deep line playmaker. You want him to, like I said earlier, collect the ball, progress it high up the field. As for John Stones, the counterpart, he's set to cut past hands and drop between the defenders. Now, it's very weird because in FC24 we have seen that only for a few formations does this actually like pop up. So yeah, we do want him to sometimes just drop into the back line at times, creating a back four in certain moments, especially if you are under the cosh. But I do have a formation that we can go over if the likes of your team is being overrun and you just need to sit back and soak up a bit more pressure. But he is set to drop between the defense, creating a nice back four in certain moments. Normal exceptions though are set to be on for him, stick to position and then cover the wing. Slightly on high up the field, we've got Kovacic and De Bruyne playing as the attacking midfielders. So we'll start with Kovacic. He's set to come back on defense, also dropping into the midfield, helping link up play quite nicely. But he is going to try and make those attacking runs into the final third and be the free roaming player, popping up in those little pockets of space. Very much what İlkay Gündoğan did last season in this formation. As for his interceptions, it is set to normal. So for De Bruyne, he is set to be the chief playmaker in this team, often drifting out wide to those wider areas to try and supply crosses into the box, into the attacking third for the likes of Haaland or Grealish or whoever's making that run into the final third. He is set to stay on the edge of the box, like I say, being the chief creator in and around that attacking area. Drifting wide, you want him drifting to the wide right regions, working in those crosses to supply Haaland or a back post runner anytime that they need it. And then normal interceptions are set to go. You don't want to try and overexert him too much. Then drifting out wide to our right hand side, we've got Bernardo Silva here set to come back on defense, also looking to help the width of this team on the defensive side of things, as well as having a balanced width and come short. So for the ball to play, when you have the ball in possession, he's going to sometimes cut inside a bit more, other times try and link up play with the midfield, drifting inside more times than not. And then aggressive interceptions are set to go, and you want him to try and lead that press from that right hand side if the ball is on the left hand side of the opposition at times, making sure he's being very aggressive with the press going forward. And then as for his support on crosses, it is set to a balanced approach, sometimes making those runs into the box, other times looking to try and help facilitate the pace of play in and around the attacking third. Moving out wide to the left-hand side, Grealish has a slightly different role. He's set to come back on defense as per the right-hand side, but this time his transgression is set to stay wide. You want him hugging that left-hand side touchline. And then, as for his supporting runs, it is set to balance, so sometimes he can look to come short a bit more, be a bit more involved in the central areas of the field, and then he can also look to try and exploit the opposition's defense with the getting in behind aspect as well. Aggressive interceptions are set to be on, as well as having a balanced crossing run. And then finally, we've got Erling Haaland. He's set to stay central, getting behind, and aggressive interceptions are set to go on. You want him taking up that central area because, for one, you have all these players in and around him. You don't really need him drifting too far wide, either left or right. Central, that's his role. And then, of course, you want him to try and exploit the opposition's backline with his pace and power, making those advanced runs in behind. Having the midfielders try and supply the ball into him. And then he's set to stay forward. He's going to be an outlet for more times than not. So obviously with the 3-2-4-1 formation, he can sometimes be a bit exposed. So if you are under the cosh just a little bit, I would advise you switch to this formation. It's basically a 4-4-2 formation or a 4-2-2 formation if you'd like, where you just look to try and soak up pressure and then hit them on the break. And we have seen this more times than not when Pep has used this system with Haaland and De Bruyne up front. We've got Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish as your wingers, and then we've got Kovacic and Rodri as your holding pair. And then in the backline, we've got Ake, Diaz, Akanji, and Stones, and then obviously between the sticks, we've got Edison. As for the formation, though, as you can see right here, it's one goalkeeper, 2 centre-backs, 2 full-backs, 2 DMs, 2 wingers, and then 2 strikers. So for this formation, it's slightly more defensive, so you'll look to try and, soak up the pressure, have them make the mistake, and then try and be a bit more reactive towards it. As for the team width, it's set to 40, and the team depth is slightly lower than the previous one, where it's set to 70, so you're not trying to be overly aggressive towards them, you're not trying to have such a high line, you're more or less trying to just keep what you have if you are trying to see the game out, and then try and progress from there going forward. As for the build-up play, it is set to fast-paced build-up, as well as the transgression is set to forward runs. You want the likes of Haaland and potentially De Bruyne or Silva or the likes of Jack Grealish making those advanced runs in behind. More times than not, though, it won't really be Kevin De Bruyne. It's mainly for the likes of Erling Haaland to try and exploit the opposition's high line if they are looking to try and throw him in forward later on in the game. As for the width, it is set to 80, so it will still sometimes be a widespread team on the offensive side of things if you are looking to try and maintain the ball a bit more. And then as for players in the box, it is set to 2, meaning that only the likes of Erling Haaland will make that attacking run into that final third. You are looking to more or less try and be a bit more of a counter-attacking team with this, so you don't really want to overcommit to too many players, and you'll have more or less 3 or 4 midfielders in and around that final third to try and supply the ball into your superstar striker. As for corners and free kicks, it is set to 4. And then for the instructions, we'll start off with Edison. He's got the same set of instructions, come for crosses and be a sweeper keeper, whereas Akanji and Diaz, they've got their base set of instructions as well. And then for our fullbacks, both of them are set to the same, with the likes of John Stones being a bit more aggressive and stepping up, you could say. So as for John Stones, he's going to stay back while attacking an invert. Of course, with this formation, you're looking to not have too many attackers going forward. You want to try and soak up pressure and then hit on the break potentially. You're trying to see out a game potentially if you are under the cosh. So that's why I've gone with a not so attacking style of instructions for the wing backs or the fullbacks in this situation. So yes, stay back while attacking, invert a bit more, and then step up. As for the likes of Nathan Ake, he's set to the same, except for he's set to just stick to position. You don't want him being too aggressive towards the opposition on the left-hand side. Then moving into our midfield, we've got the likes of Kovacic and Rodri. We'll start with Kovacic. He's set to cut passing lanes, having a bit more of a balanced attack, so he'll be a bit more of a box-to-box player. Normal exceptions though are set to be on form, be the deep line playmaker, and then cover the wing. You want him to be able to spray those balls in behind the opposition for the likes of Erling Haaland or Jack Grealish to latch onto and then progress and potentially score more goals. As for the likes of Rodri, he's set to cut past and stay back while attacking, looking to just to be a shield, protecting the backline at times. Normal exceptions though are set to be on form and then be the deep line playmaker and cover the wing. As for the likes of Bernardo Silva, he's set to come back on defense, have a free roaming role, I should say, drifting in and out of the midfield, popping up in certain pockets of space. Come short, of course, you want him linking up, playing very narrowly, and then aggressive interceptions and stay on the edge of the box. You don't want him getting into the attacking third, you want to try and supply the forward line more times than not, just Erling Haaland getting into the attacking third. Then as for Grealish, he's set to come back on defense as well, having a balance with, and then having a balanced support for his support runs. You want him to sometimes, mix it up a bit more, be a bit more dynamic with his approach, especially in this formation. Sometimes drifting a bit more inside, other times having the touchline and creating space for the midfield to operate in. And then we've got aggressive interception set to be on form, and then stand edge the box as well. And then moving into our front line, our strikers, we've got Kevin De Bruyne, always playing as a centre forward at times. He's going to look to drift wide, drop off a bit more, and that's why I've got set him to drift wide, operating those wider regions, creating more space for Erling Haaland at times. And he's also going to look to try and place a false line, as well as he's going to come back on defense, dropping off from the back line at times, potentially pulling players out and creating more space and opportunities for the likes of Erling Haaland to try and run into. And then his strike partner, Erling Haaland, we've got him set to having a balance with often making those arcing runs in and out of the box, starting on the left-hand side more times than not, and then making it a beautiful arcing run in behind, which is why we set him to get in behind, because he is very good at exploiting the back lines of the opposition at times. Normal interceptions though are set to be on. You don't really want him doing too much. You want more or less your flanks doing a lot of the pressing and the work. You want to try and keep Haaland nice and fresh, especially if you are looking to try and hit them on the break. As for his defensive support, it is set to stay forward. He is going to be your out the ball, just like with the previous formation. You want him to try and stay forward and try and keep the opposition on their toes. So yes, my dudes, that is my version of Pep Guardiola's 3-2-4-1 formation with the added defensive formation as well. So if you can, hit that like button down below, subscribe if you are new. If you haven't seen it already, I will link it in this video right here, right now. Mad love, mad appreciation, thank you for all your support on the channel. It means a lot to me. But more importantly, my dudes, I hope you have a damn great day. I'm out.